A lot of history here. Zeke.
Okay. I don't have to bother that.
Yeah. Do you like to read?
It's very pretty. I have a question.
Yeah.
Was anything here in the early 2000s?
Yeah. Most of it actually was. We started working on it in the early 90s.
Because I was here in Philadelphia as a kid. I think right after 9/11, or maybe right before, I don't remember exactly. And I remember going up this street, and there was all these little shops and stuff. One of the shops sold adult stuff.
Yeah, well, there's a lot.
They
of
still do, yeah.
on South Street.
Well, one of them had a fountain of a little, sperm thing shooting water out, and as a kid, I was like, "Wow, that looks really cool." My mom's like, "You can't go in there."
Yeah. When I was growing up, I grew up in Tampa, and there's this strip club on one of the main boulevards, and it's kind of famous for having a lot of strip clubs in that area.
Yeah, I know
This
Tampa
one
very well.
That was it was 2001, super spaceship,
Oh my god.
nudie bar.
That was a theme.
Yeah, because they had this giant spaceship that was the VIP area.
Oh my
and
god.
I would be on the school bus.
It was-
I want to go there.
Yeah, it's funny because I was in a long time ago. I was in Ybor City in Tampa, and there's a lot of weed paraphernalia there.
Yeah.
And they had these 6 foot tall bongs.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What's that?" And the guy's like, he can't tell me what it is because I'm a child.
Yeah.
He goes, "Oh, those are."
Hold on,
It was those are water something or other.
Philadelphia's Magic Gardens. How may I help you?
Thank you.
So everything today is self-guided.
This. Now this is a bathroom. Oh wow.
My father always called her the rock because she without her, there wouldn't have been a him.
The frog print.
In the meantime, Isaiah was in for only 10 days.
And came out and began a new life.
And I think it was only when I realized I was pregnant, that's when we started looking for a real place to live in an area that we thought we could function better in.
I needed some way to recuperate. And South Street was a street that was going to become an expressway. And it was being bought up by the city and the state.
When we first came to South Street, it was this kind of desolate place. There were a lot of vacant buildings.
At one point, we were on food stamps, and this area was very poor. It wasn't the wealthy financial district that it is now.
I thought because that street was so down and out, so on the brink of death, we could find a derelict building that I could learn skills that would help me to get better. I couldn't be an artist anymore, I thought. I couldn't be an artist, but I could live the art life.
We bought this building for $10,000. It was without plumbing or heating, and we decided that that was going to be ours, our new home.
I could make a building into an art house, and Julia, who was more outgoing than me, could be behind a counter and sell off the things that we made so we could start a craft shop.
So he came in and completely devastated the whole building. Every wall came down.
And the renovating of the building started to give me strength. Once I broke down the building, then I had to build it up. And I was building shelving and all kinds of closets and all out of the detritus of the city. And then I began embellishing, beginning the process again of making art.
His devotion to his craft restored his lust for life. But even today, it's a constant struggle for Isaiah to maintain his equilibrium.
I'm 75 years old and I still am doing the work. I go through periods of time and have what is it called, bipolarness. I have times where I think it's all worthless. And I have times when I think, wow, I'm the most important artist that ever lived.
After the break, squatting with impunity, mission impossible.
It meant that I would be responsible for bulldozing my own work.
Gradually, Isaiah's magic touch spread across many South Street buildings, a major contribution to the project of revitalizing the neighborhood.
Isaiah Zagar started mosaicing in 1969 here in Philadelphia, and he started putting his art on abandoned properties.
South Street was a kind of broken down area. So him and his friends were trying to make it beautiful. Did I help him with his mosaics? I had to, because I was his son. He wanted to make sure we knew how to do what he did.
But not everyone was happy about the idea of using the city as an artist's canvas.
People have told me all along that they didn't like what I do, and people challenged me that I was ruining the neighborhood.
People that critique Isaiah feel that it's garbage and it's trashy because it's made out of found objects.
I understood where they were coming from. I mean, they just didn't understand, and still don't understand.
I appreciated the art, and I knew that he was in a different category than all the other artists. And I knew eventually he was going to be what he wanted to be.
Many people will say, I know a lot of people like what you do. I know a lot of people respect you. But I have to tell you truthfully that I don't like it. Okay, that's fine. I mean, they don't have to give me their wall.
But here, in essence, was the root of people's displeasure. Isaiah was installing his mosaics without permission.
Oh.
He was going out early in the morning when no one was out and doing whatever wall he wanted to do. And he got arrested twice.
To avoid further trouble with the law, Isaiah decided to concentrate on the Eyes Gallery, where the couple had just moved. A lucrative decision. The gallery grew prosperous and quickly became a meeting place on South Street.
The Eyes Gallery was the first studio on South Street. And then it got too crazy. It got too filled with people and events, and there was no quiet.
The noise and traffic led Isaiah to buy another building to convert into a studio.
1987, I moved into this building, and it began a wonderful, wonderful 10 years of work and play and mystery. All kinds of things happened in this building. And then in 1994, I purchased the building that was facing South Street. And that began the journey of making the Magic Garden.
Prior to his Lincoln Isaiah accommodations.
And next door to it, at 1022, which was also part of our property, is just a vacant lot. And then next door to that was another vacant lot where there were several vagrants living.
It was two abandoned plots that an absentee landowner took over, and this landowner lived in Boston, so he didn't really care what the community was like, he didn't care what the neighborhood was like. So Isaiah saw a blighted area, buildings that were in disrepair, and he asked the local representative of this landowner if he could start working on that site.
He got the permission of the owners with the idea that I would take care of it. I would be a caretaker.
He began cleaning, and as he began cleaning, he began to pile a lot of the detritus into what he called sculptures. And they became bigger and more elaborate, and it wasn't his land. I mean, but there was no one to stop him. No one said anything. And so he just kept working. He didn't care.
Making the Magic Garden was an act of disobedience, an act of violation of somebody else's rights.
And of course, Isaiah put a bigger fence, put cement on the fence. Couldn't really be moved too easily. And one time the landlord came down and he was just horrified.
The landlord's plan was to wait until prices in the neighborhood rose and then sell the land for a tidy profit. But Isaiah's sculptures made that impossible.
I needed to get off the land and to bring it back to its original flat landedness without any sculptural entities on it.
One of my favorite quotes from the person that has actually owned this land was, I know what real art is, it's in the Louvre. And so that was sort of his attitude about this giant installation.
And he said that we had 30 days to clean it, get out, or buy it. We realized that we couldn't own it, we couldn't buy it, because he wanted $300,000 for the property. And he wouldn't budge because he knew he had us. He just had us.
It meant destroying my work, that I would be responsible for bulldozing my own work.
Can he find the strength to go forward?
I've gone through some times in the last 2 years where I thought, it's beaten me, it's defeated me.
Have you seen the maze yet, Aaron?
What days?
The garden area? Is there?
The time when
Do I
Isaiah
have to take my
Zagar
bag
had
off
to
to go
slightly
through it?
appropriate city walls is behind him. The Magic Gardens, celebrating their 10th anniversary this year, are now part of everyday life for the neighborhood's residents. And today, our artist is a local celebrity. It's impossible for Isaiah to escape his work at any time, at every street corner.
I go to breakfast at Black and Brew.
A project, a mark of his creativity.
I did a workshop with 20 people, and we embellished the front and side of Black and Brew. Since then, what I receive from them is a small cup of coffee every morning. And then I buy my breakfast, and I sit outside with Blue, my dog.
Cute dog.
After my breakfast, I walk to Watkins Street. Come on, Blue. Let's get on our way. Hey, Blue. It's beautiful sunlight, boy.
There's no rest for Isaiah. His latest project? A huge studio he's transforming into a work of art.
This is a 10,000 square foot building on 2 floors. I have, over the last 8 years, embellished the second floor from the walls and the ceiling, and now I'm almost concluded with both floors.
The
takes him about a day to put up the tiles and glass on a wall, and then another day to grout it. So in 2 days, he can do a wall the size of 10 feet by 10 feet.
It's come to a crucial point in time where it needs an exhausting amount of money to finish it because it has no heat and no separate rooms and one little bathroom.
It's a difficult one for him because he feels like it's too big for him. He doesn't know what to do with it. I have ideas. He has ideas. My mother has ideas, but nothing is clear yet. It's a beautiful place, and I hope something happens with it that glorifies it.
I've gone through some times in the last 2 years where I thought, I can't do it. It's beaten me. It's defeated me.
At 75, a little wisdom. The artist has realized that he will not be able to finish this mammoth project alone.
I've done over 200 murals in Philadelphia, most of them since 1997 when I started doing classes, have been with groups of people. And I train them in 2 days. They learn how to cut mirror, to break tile, and to place the tile on the wall, and then to mix cement, and to grout and clean the grout, and then to paint the lines in that I have demarcated.
The exchange is fair. The disciples front some cash, and the artist shares his knowledge.
Every artist has routines that he or she does every day. It's called their practice. And my practice is most days to mix some cement and use it in one way or another. And the way I mix cement is I have a bag of sand and I have a bag of cement, and I mix more or less 3 sand to 1 cement. Then I take my cement and I put a colorant into it. The same kind of colorant that is used in paint. And it's very toxic, usually made of heavy metals. It's very bad for the environment. I'm supposedly good for the environment, but not always. I then pour it onto the table, and I have prepared tiles that I have drawn on, broken tiles that I have salvaged from in one way or another, and I begin to play.
He has this tremendous energy that he can't, at times, can't handle, and has found art as his method of dealing with it.
So one of the things that I do, things that are broken a little bit, I break them some more. Sometimes I break things that aren't broken. And they don't mind. They don't mind at all. Look at that earpiece, huh? That's kind of nice. This is coming out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with what's going on here.
After a day of work, back home for dinner with the family. But his art is never far away.
What can be better? Fish, salad, and wine. Now that I live near my parents, I see them for dinner once a week.
This is the best meal of my life.
And I see my mother on a daily basis, or every other day. And I see my father, when he's walking around, sometimes I bump into him. All right, give thanks for the food.
Okay. To the creator of...
Thanks. Thank God he's here, still alive and not depressed.
Oh, I'm not depressed.
After the break, how do you give life to abandoned objects?
This was waste. This was waste. So I got it all. This was waste too, because it wasn't perfect.
I didn't see the movie. Great close.
Even today, Isaiah Zagar organizes guided tours in which he describes his approach. He explains that it was piece by piece that this giant open-air garden of sculptures came to life.
Here
To go through
in
the
garden
area, do I have to
people
take my
say
bag off?
things. Most people say, oh my God, what is this thing? Or they say, this is beautiful. Or some people say, this is trash. And everyone has an opinion about it.
Come on, Blue. Come on. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
What first strikes visitors to the Philadelphia Magic Gardens is the immense scale of the project, something that did not exist in its early days.
A commission to do a mosaic piece for a convention center in Phoenix, Arizona, and it paid $100,000. So I poured it into the ground here. I excavated and built. I wanted people to be able to isolate themselves from the rest of the city. I've gone to many places that are burial grounds, and always going down into the ground was a way to link with the sky, because you go down and then you look up.
Once the area was excavated, the structure had to be rebuilt, requiring meticulous work.
If you're using big materials, it doesn't take long at all. If you're using very, very tiny materials, it takes a long time. So it might be that a 10 by 10 foot wall could take a half a day, could take 2 days, could take a week, could take a month, could take a year. All depends.
It's easy to
You guys can
critique
catch the later
Isaiah's work
concert.
because it's very simple, but what most people never notice are all of the sort of hidden images and hidden meanings that he's embedded inside of these murals.
P-I-T-C-T-A-U. Philadelphia is the center of the art universe.
They're frequently telling the story of people in the neighborhood. So it's telling the story of South Street and the South Street area over time.
There can never be a valid definition of art. One of the magical things for me about putting words in these walls is it's self-publishing. I have no editor, I have no, except me. I like that. I like that freedom. That's a nice statement, isn't it? Forever. And it's in cursive. Forever in cursive. It's like a continual flow, forever in cursive.
And his opinion of his work? Realistic, with a disarming honesty.
Sometimes I think about this as a coral reef or a lava flow, a natural phenomenon. The whole composition comes from the mystery of time, like a city being built. I'm not a visionary. I'm not a self-taught artist. I'm an eclectic artist. I'm someone who copies other people. And I work from the past to the present to the future. I get all the broken pieces from the Eyes Gallery. How lucky am I? Well, the materials are a family of materials. Tiles, mirrors, glass, all kinds of pottery, and then drawing on broken tiles. These big tiles, these were the bases, the cushions for toilets and sinks and bathtubs. And I would set them on a table and draw on them and then put them in a kiln. And there are a lot of these amazing tiles that are all throughout the garden. This was broken, so I said, fix it. Tell the story. Memory. A lot of things break here and I have to redo them. This was waste, this was waste. So I got it all. This was waste too, because it wasn't perfect. It's like making salad. You're not concerned with the aesthetics of salad until the end. You chop everything up and you put it all together and you add some condiments. And then it's eaten and it's chewed. And it goes through. Comes out. Whoa! Still beautiful.
Here, abandoned and worthless objects are combined to form a complex work of art.
Somebody left me a penny. A penny for your thoughts, Isaiah. A penny for your thoughts.
Inevitably, Isaiah's character is revealed through the most mundane of objects.
How many of these bottles of beer, bottles of wine did I drink? And I tell everybody all of them. I lie. Maybe 90%. This is my kind of bullseye. A pregnant belly and 2 breasts. You know, the bullseye has been very important for 20th century art. Oh, and my feet and my hands. I made molds of my feet and my hands. So I could walk on walls and on ceilings, and I could touch everything. So I could touch everything.
Now I gotta go.
When I was a little boy, I lived in Brooklyn, and we were a nudist family. My father would come home from work and take off his clothes. So I keep my clothes to a minimum. In my art, I keep my clothes off.
After the break, a good Samaritan comes to the rescue.
One of the vice presidents of Ballard, Spahr, Ingersoll, and Andrews, a very prestigious law firm, they decided to do pro bono work to help me.
Transforming a vacant lot into a work of art has its consequences. In 2004, Isaiah Zagar found himself faced with a difficult choice: destroy everything and start over elsewhere, or fight to stay.
When the landowner found out about what Isaiah Zagar was doing in this neighborhood, he was not pleased.
We were very upset and angry at this man, but in the end, he actually did us a favor.
Jonathan Salisbury, a local reporter, wrote a piece about my circumstances, and that newspaper article got into the hands of one of the vice presidents of Ballard, Spahr, Ingersoll, and Andrews, a very prestigious law firm in the city of Philadelphia. They decided to do pro bono work to help me.
There was an enormous legal battle where all of these community constituents, from lawyers to real estate people, sort of banded together to help Isaiah successfully buy the land legally from the landowner.
A man named Dick Goldberg came to visit me and my wife Julia, and we said, we don't have the money to buy that property. Well, he said, yes, you do have the money to buy the property. And he proceeded to tell us that the value of the property was at least $500,000 and that we could loan the money to a nonprofit organization. I said, there is no nonprofit organization. He said, that's right now, but we're going to make you a nonprofit organization.
The condition for making the Philadelphia Magic Gardens a nonprofit organization was that it open itself to the public, officially.
By 2008, the garden actually had its first paid staff members. So during that time, it was sort of a transition where the place was open regular hours and trying to serve the public and students and kids through tours.
I could just feel that my heart began to
We're supposed to leave right
pound.
now.
Well, Uncle Matt didn't see the garden. He was in here looking, so he's gonna go look at the garden, then we'll leave, okay?
No, we're supposed to read
I
right
felt
now.
something
Why not? Why?
that was going through me
Why?
Because
at that moment.
I
I
want to
couldn't
watch
stop
my
it. I
show.
couldn't.
What show?
I could orgasm.
My coffee.
You know, wow.
Leonardo, we did not come all this way to Philadelphia so you could watch TV.
Wow, that's it.
Leo, Uncle Matt's still got the things to look at.
Opening the doors to
You
the
wanna help
public was
Matt show him
beneficial
all
for
the fun
Zagar
things in the
personally,
garden?
but it also strengthened his reputation as an artist. And the number of visitors is steadily increasing. The Philadelphia Magic Gardens have emerged as a landmark in the city.
When I started in 2009, there were about 18,500 people
Leonardo.
coming through the door. When I finished in 2014, this year, we have about
You don't chop me. I'm trying to learn about the gallery here.
The change has been really dramatic.
You said you want to go to the garden,
Zaya's tenacity.
I want to see the end of the documentary,
My
okay?
father's greatest strength,
but
I
it
would
has
say,
many
is that he stayed
shows.
on.
We didn't come to Philadelphia so you could watch TV.
He didn't go back and forth about what he wanted to do. He was clear that he wanted to do art, and he wanted to do it in the way that he's doing it, and he stayed the focus.
In the past few years, Isaiah has become better respected, and I think a lot of that is due to the fact that he's so accessible when people come to Philadelphia. It's likely that you can actually have an interaction with Isaiah, and he will tell you stories about what he's made, or he'll teach you a little bit. He'll pull you into his studio, and you can learn his process.
Isaiah thinks that the world should be covered with mosaics, or at least Philadelphia. And by this time, South Philadelphia is covered with mosaics. So it's possible, that people can express themselves out in the streets and in their city in a way that is much more fruitful than anything else that we do.
He's done so many projects in so many places and inspired so many people to create their own projects that I think that's one of the major reasons why, this one tiny man who's made over 200 murals in the city has become an inspiration for me.
That was one thing he was always very proud of. He was like, I may not be this, I may not be that, but I will always be an artist. And I will always be.
What does the future hold for the Philadelphia Magic Gardens?
I see the future of the Magic Gardens being a lot more than just the space. There's a philosophy of collaboration.
I'll show you the
The
garden.
documentary keeps going, and I want to see this place.
I had like two.
Well, I finally found out how they saved it.
Yeah, because that guy was brilliant. Our plane was a basement.
Yeah, like the whole,
Cool.
even the floor is mosaic.
Beautiful.
Man, I wish that was small.
We have to go back this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
We have to go out the other way.
Sorry.
Check out that.
Wow. Wow. It
And-
just goes all the way up.
Yeah. And all this beautiful. But then we don't even see the top because there's
The top is a private tour.
I know. Okay, so
Where do we start?
anywhere you want. I mean, like it's all here, and you have all these pieces on here.
Where do we find his hands and feet?
There's a lot of hands and feet. Yeah, there's
Oh.
some hands and feet over there.
Oh, like his actual.
His actual hands and feet.
Oh yeah.
Well, there's one. There's some right there.
Yeah, so these are his hands. I think there's more.
So you can go down here.
Yeah, there's his foot.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it was on the green. So that's when you go down here.
Yeah.
I'll show you. Go down.
Oh. Even behind a street corner.
Matt, can you take a photo of us? Where's Leo?
Leo?
Leonardo! I thought he was with you.
He ran to you.
Leo!
Leonardo! All right, so then see how he talked about all the different broken things?
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through here. And it's all around. And then this is where he
Sources of inspiration.
Uh-huh. And look, this is where he was interviewing right
Yeah.
here. And then I like these bunny rabbit tiles. And then he's got this here.
Yeah, I'm over here.
You have to see the whole garden?
He's doing it now, Leo.
I'm just saying it.
Then when you turn around, you have that whole wall.
Wow.
This is a broken toilet. And then you
This
go
is a tree.
down through here.
That's really neat.
Took a picture of that. All right, going through. Careful, Leo. Please be careful.
Ooh, a snake. He made a snake out of glass.
I like the bottles.
Look, skeleton faces.
Little skulls are cute.
Just don't touch.
Now you go out and come back around. And you know how he said, like, he followed other people? Leo,
Uh-huh.
get your hand off there. This
Have
is
you
almost like
ever seen
Picasso.
this?
Blue period,
Yeah.
pink period.
Now this is neat. You can see through it.
Yeah, well, that's the whole point of it. You see, this is the person he was touching in the video. And then if you look up, you can see the whole wall.
Yeah.
So then you just make a left. Make a left.
Ooh, a garden area.
Uh-huh.
This looks like an upside down Liberty Bell.
That's what I think it looks like.
Well, it is.
Yeah. Well, it has these little carvings.
I mean, flappers.
All right, go by Uncle Matt. So I take a picture of you and Uncle Matt. Turn around. Look up. Now look at me. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now you can
Look,
get...
I'm a clapper. Bing, dong, dong, dong.
These brick things remind me of that wall in Ohio.
Matt, come here.
What?
Why come on? Why does nothing have to come over there? Why does nothing
Huh? Mm-hmm.
Why does Matthew have to come over here?
Having a baby.
You want me to take a picture of you?
Yeah.
I can take a picture of you.
Come here. You're gonna, cause you're in the photo.
have to take a picture of you.
Well, you have to start to listen.
Okay.
Here, Leah, you want to take a photo of us? You gotta take your glove off.
I like these glass things.
They almost see like he has one over here.
They're like vases, but they're
cool though.
yeah.
I don't really remember. My teenage self was stuck. Me too. Sophie Martin. I mean, and you should watch all.
Yeah.
It's been kind of fun. Yeah, how many would that be? 2021.
Thank you.
Como me fui a hacer las uñas una vez, le pregunté a la chinita, o sea, ¿qué haces para tener las manos tan suaves? Porque ya tiene la piel hermosa de las manos. ¿Qué? Me dijo, me pongo vaselina en las manos en la noche, me las envuelvo con papel desde...
Excuse me.
Así
Thank
te
you.
duermes con las manos. Qué mamoneta.
Whoa.
I like it right here.
The steps aren't exactly even. I have a question.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just turn my music down. Who does the metal work?
So which kind of metal work?
Like
specifically?
down on the lower level, there's like a little metal hand figurine.
I think it's the same as the
All
like
the
arches.
Just all the
Yeah.
all the different metal. You know the art. The
It's
artwork
like
metal.
it's like the hand bent metal wires.
Yeah.
Right.
I can't remember.
I don't think
Metalworks
I
is
actually
in the title.
know.
But yeah, they've come in. So they, because the gate is also there, like they did.
Yeah,
And they've
because
come in recently to reinforce as well, because like a lot of the metalwork wasn't here originally, but now that we're realizing like we have to make this artwork last as long as we can, so
Yeah.
it's like we're reinforcing with a lot of that metalwork. But I can't think of the company.
because I'm like,
No, because I mean, but there's
as
a
far
lot-
as I
there's a
know,
lot of
it's like when I was
sculpture, too,
watching
done in metal.
the documentary in the one gallery. It says, well, he was saying, well, I work with glass stuff, this and this. I'm like, he never once mentioned metalwork, and I'm like, that's somebody else's handiwork.
Yes, yeah, he doesn't make the metalworks. There's a lot of other. No, we don't take that one. No, we don't take that one. But yeah, there's other, so like the wood carving, the sculptures, the metalwork. There's a lot of other artists that are.
Yeah, this one they just said this one was commissioned by carvers in Bali.
Wow,
That's beautiful.
it's very pretty.
Well, I'm glad he got legal on his side, and is such a beautiful place to save.
This reminds me of, it's been so long since I've seen that movie.
I'm thinking of the same movie where they get the lawyers together to help save something, and then how they're working on making it.
No, I'm thinking of Harriet the Spy.
Oh, that we get that a lot. A lot of people say that there's that one scene in that looks like
Harriet the Spy. This proves how old I am. It proves I'm a '90s kid because that's in the film.
Yeah.
And they go to a garden that's run by a local artist, and it has like this feel.
Yeah.
And it was, I kind of missed that movie, but then when I realized like all the evil stuff she does in that film, it's really dark.
I haven't rewatched it since I was really young. I rewatched the scene with the garden because someone had mentioned that.
Yeah.
I don't really remember.
Like the one sequence in the film is basically she has a diary where she writes all the stuff about her friends and stuff, and the one evil girl, she steals her diary and reads it aloud and basically ruins all her friendships.
Oh.
So she gets back at all the kids in the school.
Oh, we might have to go in from below.
But like the one girl, she's got this really long braid, and she's sitting in the chair, she comes up with a pair of scissors and snips it off. And every time she gets somebody off her list, she scratched all the names in her desk, and then once she knows she does the hit, she goes like with a big like scissor goes eek, through the desk.
Pretty dark for it.
Yeah.
Harriet does this?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the other thing is like this throughout the
remember it.
and then the crazy part throughout the whole film, she's like
I didn't think of it.
Throughout the whole film, she's committing breaking and entering.
Yes.
Like there's a part where Eartha Kitt is like the old spinster, and she's hiding in the dumbwaiter, and she gets caught and like thrown out of the house. But like any other person would have called the cops.
Yeah.
And then it's really the one person she spies on is like this old man who has all these birds, and then like the city comes by and takes all his birds or something like that. It's really depressing now when I think about it. But the most messed up thing she does is the girl who started it all, the bully. She confronts her in the bathroom, and she knew that her parents had gotten divorced. And she says something to the fact that, deep down inside, your parents never really loved you.
Oh my god, really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it gets really bleak.
You wouldn't think so.
But
it's got the other thing is like Rosie O'Donnell is her nanny.
Rosie O'Donnell,
I remember that.
And something happens, and I think the other thing that makes her lash out is that something happens, and her parents blame Rosie O'Donnell for being a bad influence on her, and they send her away.
Yeah, that's where it really starts, because they're saying that she started it and it wasn't really that, and it was the girl, and they blame her, and it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
But that one, it is for a kids movie, it's got some really adult themes. And at the end, the science girl, her friend who's all really into science, they create a smoke bomb. They have these really dumb roles in the school play, and she sets off a smoke bomb, and the whole theater is clearing out, and they're just dancing on stage, and that's the end of the film.
I have to watch it.
I know, I want to rewatch it now.
It's so crazy, that film. And this is a kid's film, and it was made by Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Sometimes it's oh man, I want to rewatch a film. And then you're there's that nostalgia bubble.
Yeah, we were actually just kind of talking about that.
Yeah,
before,
there's a nostalgia bubble you don't want to burst.
Yes.
Because I remember the one time I found an old VHS of of this Care Bear video that I had, but it had not aged well, so like the lines started popping up on the tape, on the video, and at parts the sound wouldn't work too well, and like I watched the end of it and I'm like, I used to be into that.
Yeah. That's why you can't always rewatch those things.
Yeah.
They can just be in your memory.
Some things are just, they go in the vault and they gotta stay there.
Exactly.
I really like the blue bottles. They're very pretty.
Yeah, he specifically he liked the way the blue bottles looked as well. So they're
Now my
harder
question
to
is,
find.
if it's really windy, do the bottles like hum?
Not that I've noticed. That's an interesting question. But most of them are facing down, so they wouldn't be able to.
Well, a bunch of them on that side are facing outwards, so
Yeah.
that's why I asked. No, I was wondering if the wind blows right, if the bottles make a sound.
Ah.
Be just your luck the day you're working here on a day where it's really windy and all of a sudden you hear this.
Yeah, it has to be it's a perfect wind. We'll have to listen more closely.
The crazy part is there's like, I think it's somewhere in England or Scotland, and it's this sculpture in this like secluded area, but it's very windy on this cliff. And the entire
is that big metal thing?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
my
this
God.
big metal sculpture of all these pipes, and when you walk, when you get in the area, you can hear it. When you get up to it, it sounds like just moaning. It's just this, and then as the wind picks up, certain notes you'll hear certain notes, and it just sounds like the wails of the dead. It's
pretty
really
spooky
creepy.
and cool. Yeah.
And the best part is the area is supposedly haunted.
Oh, so it adds to it.
I like the bricks, the brick seats. Now,
They're made by another person as well. He didn't make those either.
Oh, I was about to say, because did he carve the bricks to make that? I can't remember the city. I think it was Sandusky, Ohio. When we were staying in that hotel in that city in Ohio right before we went to Canada that year.
Yeah.
There was all these signs at the local restaurant saying "Save the Wall," and we were walking up the one street, and I said, "Hey, look at that brick wall," and it was this brick wall that had like these beautifully made bricks.
Because he said he's going to catch it later.
Curved in and out.
I already said that.
And we're like, this
now she's pissed because now you made a big stink about being somewhere at 12, and now.
What? When I got here, I kind of realized we weren't going to have the time to get back.
All right, well, let's go look at some other stuff.
But yeah, it was this beautiful brick wall, and it had like all these curves and shapes, beautiful shapes to it, and it was slated for like demolition.
Oh, this was in Ohio?
Yeah, like something was happening to the land that it was sitting on, and there was potential that it would be lost.
Do you know if it ever got knocked down?
I don't know. I'm going to Google it.
Okay.
I love Google. My mom's like I asked my mom a question, and then I asked Google. It's like, well, why'd you ask me if you want to ask Google? It's like, I want to know more information.
Exactly, yeah. I think that's one of the best things about iPhones is you can kind of expand conversations that way.
If it loads, I think I have a picture. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's got a bit. It was saved, but the area around it got knocked down.
Oh wow.
Interesting.
Cool. I'm glad it got saved.
Very interesting.
The wall at the Brem Building, Erie County Historical Society.
Wait, where's my stand?
Yeah, because I was there in the late 90s, and it's just the building was demolished in 1999, and work was done through 2000 to preserve the sculpture and its backing wall. There was a series of articles written about these events in the Register from 1999 to 2000. So it was saved, but the building it was originally attached to was knocked down.
Okay. Cool. But they preserved the.
That's nice.
Good news.
Let us know when you're done.
Oh, you can come. You can
All right.
Right here.
Yeah, thanks for sharing so much information with
Yeah,
us.
thank you. I had
absolutely.
a lot of time.
Good.
A lot of time. I had a great time.
Enjoy the rest of the garden.
Let's go down there, guys.
Yeah.
Good.